When something you're doing needs to be handed over to someone else afterward, does that always mean it's urgent? Not necessarily. I'm David Stiernholm, and in the first episode of Done of the autumn season, I'm sharing a trick that helps you make your time go further. But first, when overwhelmed with tasks, focus on eliminating those that don't contribute directly to your goals. Why? And how? Well, I'll show you right now in a post on the Struktör blog. You'll find a link to it in the show notes. With this World Cup summer fresh in mind, let me use a soccer metaphor. When you get the ball, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to pass it on immediately. What do I mean? Well, let's say you have a task you're responsible for that is one step in a longer process involving many people. One after another, you each do what you need to do in a specific order, and eventually the result is delivered, and that particular instance of the process is completed. When I talk about prioritization with participants in my courses and lectures, someone is waiting for me so they can take the next step often comes up as a reason to give a task high priority. It sounds reasonable and wise. If someone is waiting to take over, it's good if I do my part quickly so the process can continue. But just because someone is waiting for your handoff doesn't necessarily make it urgent. It depends on the overall deadline for the process and on how much work still needs to be done before then. It may be that you can prioritize other, more urgent and important tasks first and still deliver in plenty of time for the team to meet the final deadline. If these tasks always received the highest priority, other tasks would suffer, and you wouldn't be able to meet their deadlines. Or you would suffer because you'd have to push yourself unnecessarily hard to finish them on time. Therefore, determine how much calendar time is needed downstream of you for recurring processes in which you participate so that the final deadline can still be met. Do this. First, make a list of the recurring processes in which you perform tasks. Second, if there is a designated process owner, ask them what your general deadline is in order for the final deadline to be met. For example, you can express it in terms such as day D minus 14 days. If there is no process owner, or if they can't give you an answer, do your own investigation. Map out the steps that follow yours and estimate how much calendar time they need based on your solid experience. Or ask the other participants how much time they need to complete their sequential tasks and create your own map. And then document your findings in some kind of reference document. Better yet, share it with the others in the process so that you develop a common understanding of how it works. Perhaps this could be the beginning of optimizing the process so it flows more smoothly. And the next time you get the ball, find out when it ultimately needs to reach the goal and calculate your actual deadline for the task this time. And now you can prioritize more accurately because you know how urgent or not urgent this task really is, and you can weigh it against all the other tasks on your list. Because if you determine the true deadlines for your process step tasks, it becomes easier to prioritize correctly, which helps you make better use of your time and keep your weeks manageable. Doesn't that sound nice? How do you determine the deadline for tasks that are part of a chain? Is it explicitly stated every time, or do you have a trick you usually rely on? Write to me at david@stiernholm.com and tell me. I'm curious to hear. Thanks for today and see you again next week.